All my ladies.
Women in music. This is Lydia Greatrix on Gorgeous FM.
Yeah. All my ladies.
Good evening, it is 3 minutes past 8 and now it is time for the Woman of the Week here on the Women in Music show, and this week it is Danish singer-songwriter Gurli Octavia. Now Gurli has a Nordic folk, maybe with a little bit of pop in there kind of sound, and I'm a really big fan of her latest single X-Ray, which I'll be playing in a little while. But over the next half an hour, Gurli and I will be chatting about her music taste, life growing up, and why she has decided she wants to bring her music over here to the UK. And I started by asking her how she would describe the type of music she makes.
I think it's kind of like pop music, but on like a folk foundation, because I started out writing these very folk-ish songs, and then I think I went more pop and more produced with the years passing by. But yes, I think it's kind of like a warm Nordic vibe.
Yeah, I get that vibe as well. Like I got that kind of folk, kind of country vibe from your music as well. Which artists would you say you're inspired by, with like, lyrically and musically?
I don't know if I like intentionally get inspired by artists, but I did when I was younger. I did read a lot of lyrics from different artists, just like understanding their vibe. And I think that was a lot of like Leonard Cohen and Fiona Apple and those kind of artists that really like intrigued me with the way they use the words, and Laura Marling as well, a UK artist. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just a bunch of different songwriters.
What is like the music you're listening to at the moment? What's on your playlists, and describe your music taste for me?
It's very like I have a really broad taste, if you can say so. Right now I'm listening to a lot of music which I've heard on these spiritual ceremonies, and I don't know the names of any of the artists. It's just like this playlist with a lot of spiritual music talking about like becoming yourself, and yeah. And then I just discovered Phoebe Bridgers. I've never heard her before, so I'm listening to that a lot right now. And Lana Del Rey, I just discovered her as well. I'm a very slow mover with finding new music, but I recently listened to her album. I just discovered her, and now I'm listening to it a lot. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm like very slow at picking up on music that is very popular. I don't know why. Maybe it's like this unconscious decision not to be fashionable, but yeah. So I'm always like, oh, this is why people have been listening to this for 10 years. It's really good.
What's the Danish music scene like?
It has a lot of different genres, really. There's a lot of different radio stations playing different music, but I think like what used to be called urban music is really big in Denmark, very produced, and there's a lot of music in Danish language as well. But I think Denmark is really like kind of a country just pulling all different cultures in, because we don't have this strong feeling of what our own, like, I think we don't have this feeling of what our own sound is like traditionally. So we've always been pulling in different styles.
Do you listen to a lot of Danish music? Is that what is mainly in your kind of playlist almost, or is English music something also that you're just obsessed with?
I think I actually don't listen that much to Danish music. I always think that I should pay more attention to the Danish music scene, and because I have a lot of great colleagues in the industry making great music, but I think I mostly listen to music from outside of Denmark, actually.
Your favourite woman in music? I know it's difficult for you to pick one in particular, but who was the person that you've picked and why?
I actually picked this new artist called Winnie. How do you pronounce her last name? Rita? I don't know. But a friend of mine sent me one of her songs last year, and I just discovered her, and I think she's just amazing. And I think I sent the song "Don't You Dare," which is just a song that hits me in every nerve, both her voice and the songwriting and the simple production, and I just think it's really beautiful.
Oh, such a beautiful voice. That's Winnie Rader with Don't You Dare. That is off her 2019 EP. It's called, let me see, From Here. And that is... that song is one of the Woman of the Week's favourites, and the Woman of the Week this week is Gurli Octavia. So now we've got an idea of who Gurli is inspired by and what her favourite music is. I really wanted to take it back to the very beginning and chat about what life was like for her growing up.
I grew up with parents who made circus things and like traveled around with different I have no idea how to say it in English, but my mom played the saxophone and my dad always played guitar, and we had a piano in the home. And when I was a young girl, I signed up for this, what is it called in English? Like this marching band, I guess, where I played a horn at first, and then I played the saxophone because I wanted to play the same as my mom. And and then I had a lot of friends playing music, and it was always a part of my life with the music.
So how did it come about that you thought, I want to do this for a living?
That was a long way, I guess, because I started writing songs when I was quite young, but I didn't tell anyone about it until I was 26. When I put my first demo on SoundCloud. And I've always been really, really scared of being on stage. But since I was, a teenager, I just kept finding different ways to do it, like joining the school something band and other things. And I kept going on stage crying and then going down again and then trying the next time. And then I cried again and then I went down. And I don't feel like I ever made the decision. Maybe it was just made for me, and I just knew that I had to do it. So I never really had one day where I thought I'm going to be a musician. I always just felt like I already was.
When I'm listening to your music, your voice is just so beautiful. I don't know how to describe it, but is singing something that you've always done as well?
I always sang, as long as I can remember, and not in front of people, but to myself. And then I tried to do it in front of people. That was my main thing, was actually singing. And I think that was why I was so scared, because it's so naked to sing. You can't hide behind an instrument. Yeah, and I think actually I have this vibrato in my voice, which is like my nerves from back then, because it made my voice go, whoa, and then I had to learn how to control it.
How would you say that your music has changed over time? And how long have you actually been releasing music, to the world?
I released my first song in the end of 2016. And then the year up to that, I was releasing my demos on SoundCloud. And I think it's definitely... I think the sound has gotten bigger, if you can use that expression. After I started producing a few years back, that definitely changed my sound, because I started working with a lot of not physical instruments in the room, but a lot of virtual instruments and effects. And that has kind of opened up my sound, but also made it more produced and more, maybe more pop commercial-ish.
How has lockdown been for you as well? You said at the beginning that you're able to still make music. Yeah. Has it been difficult for you, or have you just kind of gone with the motion of the situation we find ourselves in?
One thing was that I couldn't go playing shows, which was kind of a bummer, both because I just love it and also because it was my income. But besides from that, I've actually been quite good, because it's quite normal for me to spend a lot of time alone at home because I am a songwriter. So I spend most of my time writing songs at home. And when I'm not, I want to go home and write songs. And I'm an introvert as well. So I think it's actually been quite an easy year for me because I also didn't have to make up a lot of excuses for not going out. And but it's been challenging because of the whole economical thing, and not being able to hug my family has been, especially my nephews and just kids. You can't be physical with them, and I think there's a lot of expression of emotion in the physical. Like sometimes when you don't know what to say to people, you can hug them and show them you love them, and that's been difficult, but yeah, I've been okay.
Can you tell me about your song X-Ray? Because I think it's an absolute bop.
Thank you. I wrote it actually because I just finished my album this summer. I'm going to release it this month. And we had closed the album for new songs, and we were just finishing up all of the productions. And then I was just at home I think it was just a random Tuesday morning or something, and I was writing it. I was making a production on my computer, I think, without a top line. And then I just jammed it. And I made it in like 4 hours, I think. And then I had to write my producer. And I was like, we have to get this song on the album, and we have to get a trumpetist, and we have to get a drummer. And I have these ideas. And then, we just had to make it. It's a little weird because it's both from me and to me in the songwriting. I didn't like the way I had been in a breakup situation where when I look back on it, I was like, why did I have to say so many things about what you are doing wrong instead of just focusing on my own emotions? So I felt like I was showing my heart on an X-ray, and like you don't always have to say everything you think about because it can be quite hurtful.
That's X-Ray by Gurli Octavia, this week's Woman of the Week on Gorgeous FM. And Gurli Octavia is a Danish singer-songwriter who will be releasing her debut album, I Could Be Blossoming Instead, on the 29th of this month. And in the next few minutes, I'll be giving you an exclusive play of her new single, I Wasn't Ready, which will be out tomorrow. But before that, in this final part of the interview, we chat about why Gurli decided that she wanted to share her music here in the UK, and more about that exciting debut album.
I think I've always been like drawn to the UK's music scene, but just the country as well. I went there in 2018, and I just was alone in an apartment writing songs every day, and I was like, I have to move here. And then, I don't know, it's just like something with my feelings, I think. And I love a lot of the music coming out of the UK, and I like this folk tradition as well, where people just play with each other and for each other and tour together. And there's this whole community around music, which I don't think we have it exactly the same way in Denmark.
So you mentioned earlier about your album. So can you tell me about your album and what we can expect from it? Because I'm super excited.
Actually, I wrote 2 of the songs in London on the album. One of them is coming out on Friday. It's the B-side for I Wasn't Ready. And the next one is going to be the single, actually, so that's quite funny. But it's called I Could Be Blossoming Instead, which refers to I've been going through some stuff the past few years, and I didn't really take care of myself. And I had this thought that, you could be choosing to be good to yourself. You could be choosing all of these things. You could be blossoming right now. And I just wanted to, express that in the title, because that was, to remind myself about this. And then, there's a lot of the songs on the album which are about like wanting to live a better life in different ways. And then there's also some songs about the loss of my father. I lost him in 2018, and it's a big album. There's like 19 songs on the vinyl. it's like my first really big album, and I put a lot of energy in it. And
the fact there's that many songs on the album, that's a lot of Gurli Octavia to listen to and to enjoy. So I will be definitely getting that vinyl. Finally, could you talk to me about I Wasn't Ready? Because this is a kind of a little bit of an exclusive for Gorgeous, because I don't think it's come out yet, has it?
No, it's not out until Friday. It's completely, and it's not, it hasn't been premiered in Denmark as well. So it's completely exclusive.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's a song I wrote 1.5 years ago about like realizing that the relationship you're in, that you thought it was like forever, it's not going to be forever, and you and your special someone are just like parting, and you're letting go of the dreams you've built together. And it's a sad song, but it has hope in there as well. And then I produced it myself, and I tried to unite these two things that I love a lot, like this very acoustic, vulnerable, organic sound with just me and the guitar, and a love song, and then this really produced, four on the floor even kind of vibe. And I wanted to make them meet, also to give like some energy to the song, because I feel like it has hope in there as well. It's not like there is no anger and there's no resentment in the song. It's just like the sorrow that you have to end your relationship. And I wanted to get some uplifting energy in it. So it starts like almost a country song, and then it goes more over to a pop song.
Yeah, I mean, I love it, and it's I'm very excited to play it on Gorgeous FM. But I would like to give you the opportunity to introduce it to the airwaves. You can even do it in Danish if you want to.
Okay, I'll do that. Hej, Gorgeous FM lyttere. Det her, det er min nye single, I Wasn't Ready.
That's the new single by Gurli Octavia. It's called I Wasn't Ready on the Women in Music show on Gorgeous FM. And Gurli Octavia was this week's Woman of the Week. I want to give a massive thank you to Gurli and all her team for all their time. She was absolutely lovely. Her English, obviously English is her second language, and she did amazing. I was super, super impressed. And the fact that she got to introduce her song in Danish, I thought was just a little extra little touch. The Women in Music show is going international, people. You can follow Gurli Octavia on all social media. Just search Gurli Octavia, and it's spelt like Gurli Octavia Octavia. There we go. I thought I was going to mess up a letter then, but I didn't. I managed it. Also, that single I Wasn't Ready is out tomorrow, and her new album I Could Be Blossoming Instead